It doesn't fill in the answers.
No, like when I get a question wrong, it will just be like you got one or more parts wrong.
Oh, but I mean, okay, so you eventually do get the numbers here. So okay, so what one thing I was going to suggest is that
Yeah.
you can it takes a bit of time, but you can check your answer and go all the way through this, and then you take screenshots of the correct answers so that you can see where it came from, and so that you could get that information from it. Like if you were doing it on your own,
Hmm.
that would be one way to do it. The other the other technique here is, and this is what I mean. This is what I have to do is I have to go to Chegg and I have to go find one like this to see what they did.
Right.
Um, Now on your static questions, those are like the S2-12. Let me see if I can pull that one up. I don't know. Okay, so I closed the window. Let me share something different so we can just keep seeing this. Sorry, that this I haven't had to do this particular thing in a while. Sorry, it's a screen share. Um, all right, so we'll just share. I'll share that screen, and let's get back to. Okay, so because you're trying to, I mean, you're trying to learn this, you're trying to get the good grade as well. Um, so the S ones usually are static, meaning they're the same each time. If you haven't figured that
Uh-huh.
out, that's good to do.
They have the same numbers.
Pretty much, yeah, they pretty much do.
Okay.
Um, so like this one's not too bad to explain because
Yeah, it's just debit credit at that point.
debit credits. So those aren't too bad to do. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. Um, this one, same thing here. Um, and then this one is sort of the same here. You have to grab these numbers and things like that. I gotta be. If you just need this done tonight, like that's where I'm going to be helpful. I can't really explain like why
Right.
these things are, other than to say, well, here's the related problem and here's where the numbers go.
Right.
So
Okay.
I mean, what's your goal here? I mean, is
Then
it
why
is
don't then well I do want to learn some of it just because I there was a test coming up, but I could just like we can not stop meeting and then I can just do as much as I can and then text you.
I would want to get started on something like this pretty soon,
Okay.
um, and I just to get it finished.
Okay.
Um, I mean, now that I see what you want, so and I hate saying that because it's just all I'm going to do is I'm going to open up. I'll just open. Show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up Chegg window here, and I'm going to look for this question, and I'm going
Hmm.
to find one like it, and
Hmm.
hopefully there's one. There usually is. There's usually several of them, and you start punching the numbers in.
Hmm.
Um, if you don't have a Chegg account, I mean, you definitely want to do that. I need to manage my devices. So, um,
I mean, yeah, if you don't think it would be effective to like go through it.
well, I can do it for like this one. So this one, um, they tell you that cash is 4, and like I don't know why. So let's see why cash is 4. You kind
Is
of
it
got to
just
look at the
is it the same numbers as this example?
unlikely to be, but so it's 3 6 23 7 34 22. So we got to figure out why it's 4, and uh, dollar amounts are million. So why is it 4? So these together are 56. I'm sorry, over here. This is on the right here. This is, what is that? 61, and then you got 40. 43. So that's not a good reason for it to be 4. So this explanation isn't great. So I'm gonna go look for another one and see if we can figure out why it is. So the cash is 2 plus 5 plus 7 plus 31 plus 17 minus 22. Where did that come? 2 plus 5 plus 7 plus 32. 2 plus 5 plus 7 plus 31
minus
minus
17 minus
17.
20.
Right. So why is that? Well, they I don't know. They took 2 5 2 5 7 31. So they took this number, this one, and then they subtracted. So if we use that over here, it's 3 plus 6, that's 9, plus 7, that's 16, plus that's 50, and they subtracted 22 and 23, so that's 5.
Okay.
So okay, so I get that now. So now we have like you always want to get the accounts in there, and this is where Chegg isn't great. You often get sometimes they don't give you the great matches for them. Other liabilities, stockholders' equity, revenues, and expenses. All right, so then we got to figure out where these numbers came from. So the cash, if the cash is 6, our cash was 5, so we're going to put that 5 there, and then I don't see anything else to kind of match up with this. So we're gonna grab these other numbers. So 5, 7, 5, and 7. So so this 22 other assets is from other assets. So I guess I can grab some of these numbers over here.
Yeah.
So other assets is 23. You can keep it open. So accounts payable. That's on the right side. Why is that 5? Oh, because it's accounts payable. So ours is 6. Other liabilities is 7. Stockholders' equity is 3. And then revenues go back. Revenues were 34. So we can add these up, but we also know that expenses were 22. And these two numbers have to be the same down here, 50, I guess. So we'll submit that and see if we got it.
Okay.
So this is actually best case scenario where actually I can get everything on 2 pages, 2 screens here, and it's not super confusing. Net income in millions. Now, revenue minus expenses, so 31 minus 17, 34 minus 22 is 12. And it's higher. The revenues are higher than expenses, so that's why it's income.
Okay.
So we got full credit. Great. Super excited. So all this stuff has to go into this table on the left. And maybe they're all in there. I don't know, but you got to know which ones are on which side. And I think that's the part of this course that I wouldn't really care for. Like I don't, which ones are debits, which ones are
I just know
credits.
that I think credits are what you're like you're paying for, I guess.
Yeah, it seems, but it's almost backwards from what we're used to. So, I mean,
Right.
this is some student like with a similar question. They're posting it on here. So I find this really tedious, but that is how you do this accounting. Like, but
Mhm.
do you understand it? I don't know. So the numbers are different. But you can at least get the accounts and then know whether it's a debit or credit and match it up here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that here. So we got cash, accounts receivable, equipment, accounts payable, notes payable, note payable, common stock, retained earnings, dividend, service revenue, salary expense, utilities expense, and delivery expense. I don't think the order actually matters here. I
Yeah.
think as long as you get the numbers to match up here. Um, so cash is on the left side. It's a debit. I don't know how we know that though. Other than that means that you have it on hand. Accounts receivable is also a debit because you're supposed to get that money. That's like money in your pocket in your business. Equipment is also something you owe, so I guess that's why it's on the left. Let's see if I can find that. 29,600. Accounts payables, that's something you owe, so that goes on the right. Accounts payable is 5,400. Notes payable is something you owe, so that's why it goes on the right there. A note is like a loan. Common stock is something you owe. Don't do. I guess you owe people with common stock. So I guess I don't understand that, but there's probably a reason for some of these things in your lectures. Retained
Mhm.
earnings is a credit. That's interesting. Dividends are what you own. That doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. Service revenue should be something you keep, but I guess it's over here on the right. This is why I'm not very good at like explaining because I don't know why some of these things are on one side or
Mhm.
the other.
Mhm.
Salaries expense is definitely something I would think you would have to pay out. Um, so that's 8,100. Utilities are 2,300. Delivery expense is 400. All right, and this is where I guess you get a calculator because you can you can add some of these things. 18,700. It should be the same number on both sides.
Mhm.
You only have to do it once.
I got
But
67,200.
yeah, it's a good way to check if you don't know. All right. So now it's a question of do we think this is actually correct? So I usually go to another thing here and see what I see. See if like they're in the right position, and then maybe I just entered it in wrong. Um, 86. Yeah, yours is kind of brutal because they don't give you
I know.
this. Now I would probably also add this column up as well. I'll check the numbers here to see that they're right.
I got a different number.
What did you get?
68,600 unless I put it in wrong, but
3,400. So your instructor has control over whether they tell you how many of these are right or wrong. Um, I really think they owe that to you. But
he's a new teacher, so maybe he just doesn't know.
um, yeah, so I mean, I'm looking at these numbers. They look okay. The example has the same values though on both sides, so that bothers me. So um, 18, 7,000, 4,700, 29,600, 3,400, 8,100, 2,300, 400. So I get 68,600 like you just said, but on the left I don't get that. All right, so we have some options. I can check answer twice and move on to the next part, or we can try to figure out where the bug is. What would you like to do?
Um, I mean, if we don't see anything, then
Yeah. Um, okay, check answer.
Wait, what? Never mind.
Yeah, so the numbers, it said those two are wrong. Accounts receivable is 4,700, and that's why they're different.
Okay.
These things are so frustrating. All right, so then the next part of the question is to prepare a financial statement. Um, so something goes at the top of this financial statement, and I don't know what it is. It's probably something like this with the date, but I don't know. I don't know why. Usually doesn't take this many to find the balance sheet, and let's see if that's an option. The balance sheet and then the date. That probably will do it.
Yeah. I know a balance sheet has to say the date like that.
All right. Adjusted trial balance. Is that what we're doing? Financial statement. So I'm struggling here. This is what I meant by like the fact that we did this, you can see the right answer there and the right answer there, and then you'll also be able to get the right answers here when you if you do it again, if you want to
Mm-hmm.
do it again. Let me see if I can find another reference here. Trial balance. Ooh. So they go income statement for the month ending, which is what I originally had. We'll try that. Okay, so there it is. All right, so now I got all these other fields to fill in. Um, we got some help here. So service revenue and salary expense. Now, why are these here? I don't know. They just are. Um, do you think that you're going to get? Did they give you some explanations on these?
Like the like Pearson.
No, like your instructor. Like, do they help you go through these?
Um, I mean, no, he just kind of lectures and we do practice questions, but the practice questions are all multiple choice. Like they're never like
That's
this.
that's what your exams generally are.
Yeah,
This
that's true.
class. 400. All right. So, oh no, no, that's one of the problems with this. Total expenses. All right. So we got to add these three up 2,700. So 10,800, it looks like. And the net income is service revenue minus expenses, which is 10,000, it looks like. I got that right. All right. So, we didn't do great on that one, but you got, I don't know, you got a lot of points, a
Mhm.
lot of 0.9 out of 1,
Yeah,
which it seems okay, but every point seems to matter in this. Okay.
this one would just wouldn't you just put like the stock?
Yeah, so we got common stock and then there's cash,
I think
I
stock
think.
is debit or cash is the credit. I don't know.
So usually the debit comes first and then the other one comes second. The credit comes second, usually.
It
But
can
I don't
also
know
be
if the
the other way
I don't know if
around.
this is the right order. I don't know if the,
Right.
the cash should come first or not. Uh,
Well, if you're giving away the stock, um, it might be credit.
so this is where you're just playing this game. Okay, well I'm gonna do cash, do common stock. We get the date right. Yeah. Oh boy. So this one doesn't even give you help. Debits first, then credits, and then yeah, that's why. So you have to explain this. Issued stock for cash, purchased, um, purch issued stock. So I want to say it's that, but I don't know the order here. It seems like common stock should be first and cash should be second.
Well, if you go to if you go to number one,
Mhm.
there are other examples like this that I was working
Okay.
on.
Okay.
So
Well, maybe you can because this one I believe is just going to be a bunch of those. So
yeah, yeah, then that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
this is the big one here, or this one 66B, um, which is actually like the ones we just did. So let's see. Let's see if we can do this. Um, all right. So we gotta. This is always where it's just such a mess here. This first line is like your first line here. So letter A is the amount from letter A, cash and common stock. So we got something going on here in A. No, there it is. So 3,900. So your number is 3,900 that goes here, and it's common stock there 3,900. Now the type of equity, I guess it's issued stock. So like I'm going off this example. There's no other numbers in here. So check answer. Okay, great. Services for customer cash of 5,700. So you get the cash, but where did it go? They put it in retained earnings, which I think is weird, but because I run a business and I don't do any of it this way, but this is what they teach. So I must be wrong. Service revenue. You perform services, so that's why it's service revenue. All right, so you paid $4,300 on accounts payable. So that means these parentheses means it's negative. Um, Surprised that that's the way it goes, but we'll just try it. Minus 4,300 and minus 4,300. And then our reason is yeah, type of equity. I don't know. I don't know what goes here. So this is where you gotta like check multiple checks. So I should have just opened this in a new tab, and then I'll open another one up in a new tab, and hopefully we'll get some information from this. Doesn't tell us why. You also got to, I mean, the more you do this, the more you're going to realize some of these answers are good, some are bad. I don't know what to put there. Let's just check it. Okay. So I don't think it likes that. I don't know if it liked the negatives either. That's another issue. So they did put negatives in there. I don't know what to tell you here. Okay. So it seems like it's blank. Seems like it's blank. So let's try that. Okay. Part D is 1,400. So depending on how sophisticated you want to be, you can say, you just try to figure out where the numbers are, and line those up. And here, there's nothing. There's no thing there. Okay, 400. E is collected cash from a customer on account. So I guess you're getting the cash. You're getting the cash from the customer, and accounts receivable. So I guess it's on both of those positions. That's interesting. You get the cash, but accounts receivable goes down. F F is consulted on the design. So 4,900. Where does that go? That 4,900 goes in accounts receivable and it's retained earnings. Okay. So if they go on the same, if they go on sort of, there's this division of this equal sign here. They're either one's positive, one's negative, one's negative. If they're on the same side, one has to be positive, one has to be negative. It's another little thing. So that's service revenue, I think. Okay, almost there. Gee, 1,100 bucks. Oh, we got two things to put in there. So the G is the rent expense. Why is it? Oh, 1,100 for the rent and 550 for advertising, both negative. So minus 1,100, and then minus. Wait. Um, oh, okay. So we have to add those two up. So it's minus 1,100 for the rent, and minus 550 for the advertising. And then you have to add these two up to get this number here, minus 1,650. And I don't think we put anything there. Advertising expense, rent expense. Okay, there is rent expense, advertising expense, check answer. Okay. All right, now H. H is declared and paid a cash dividend of 2,700. So that's there in the cash and in the retained earnings. It is negative again. So minus 2,700, minus 2,700, and dividends, check answer. Okay. Balance. Okay, so you got to add these up vertically. Now you got that beginning amount too to consider. Um, so okay, so you add up each column and put the answer here, and then you add them all up to get the number here, and add them all up to get the number there.
Okay, I
So
got 20,650 for the first column.
So you added these up, and then these are negative though.
Oh, the ones in parentheses?
Yeah, those are negative.
Oh.
And you got to start with that number at the top too, which I just almost messed up.
2,040, 400.
2,400, you said?
Yeah.
And did you include that number at the top?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
But no,
400.
I didn't get that. I was just making sure you were
Oh,
going to include.
yeah. You start that number that I've highlighted, then you add, subtract, subtract.
I think it was 2,550, but that could be wrong.
No. I'll check here. Just,
Now I got 4,950.
yeah, that's what I got as well. So that we'll go with that. The other one's 3,500 minus 1,600 plus 4,900. You can check my answer there. Okay, if and when we get all these numbers, and you have to add them up to get the total here.
You add up.
Those four
Oh, okay.
numbers, yeah, and here you get 24,000. You get the same number on both sides, which I think you're supposed to get. Okay. All right, yay. Wait, there's more. Okay, revenues. Bless it, these things don't. So here they're telling you the service revenues, which I guess is what we got here. The service revenues are, they say 6,000 plus 4,000, which I don't know where that comes from. I guess it's these two numbers. It's sort of this, hunting thing. So you got 5,700 and 4,900. So that's 10,600. Expense, you got office rent, advertising. Yeah, so we got office rent. So that's where sometimes they don't match up. You got rent and then advertising expense. So rent was 1,100. Advertising was 550, and then your total expenses are, you add those together, so that's 1,650. Then you subtract. It looks like it's 8,950. Does that seem right? 50 gets you to 9. Yeah. Okay. Shocking. But wait, there's more. Beginning retained earnings. So yeah, beginning retained earnings. You add net income. Okay. Net income for the period. So your net income is 8,950. If that was negative, it would be a loss. It would be negative. Your beginning earnings, I don't know where you get that number, so we'll have to go find that. 3,900. I guess that's what you started with up here. So you started with 4,400 retained earnings up there. Less, probably some expenses of some sort. Nope, dividends, because this is a retained earnings statement. So that there's all these different statements in accounting that they want you to know about. Dividends declared, and yeah, so we got to find that number, 2,800. There it is, right there. So yours is 2,700 in dividends, and I guess it's negative. Let me see. Let's see what they did. They don't make it negative. So this little line here, a small line, it means you add those two. So that's 13,350. Then you subtract the 2,700, and you get 10,650. And that's your ending. That's your retained earnings at the end of the month. Yeah. Okay. There's more. My gosh. Okay. Assets. So this is a balance sheet. So I guess I guess if I were taking this class, I would want to know like exactly what goes on every of one of these like statements. So that this balance sheet has all these different assets on it: cash, accounts receivable, supplies, and equipment. Liabilities. So that's accounts payable. Apparently that's all there is, accounts payable. And stockholders' equity is common stock. Common stock. Okay, so now we got to go get these values.
And is
So
it
again,
retained earnings too?
yeah, that is right. That is right. I missed that. Retained earnings. There it is. Okay. So cash. Cash is 4950, I think. So they got their cash is 4900, which is right there. So we're getting that 4950. They got 4900. That's our cash. This is another sort of annoyance is you got to scroll, you got to switch screens. Accounts receivable is 5600. Let's see what they put. They put 5600 in theirs. So we got to go get our accounts receivable, which is 6800. This is not a test question as much as it might seem like it is. They're almost always all multiple choice.
Right.
Supplies. Go ahead.
I feel like it's more conceptual almost.
Yes.
Like there'll be more conceptual like questions too.
Yeah. Equipment is 11,900. So we'll add that up for total assets. Account payable is 3,600. And I guess this is like total. I don't know. Maybe it's empty. Common stock is 9,800. Retained earnings is 10,650. Total stockholders' equity is these two added together. So what is that? 2450.
I got assets for 2,400.
The one on the left here.
Yeah.
It's you mean 24,000.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, and then total liabilities and stockholders' equity, you're adding 2450 and 3,600, so it's 27,650. Great. Um, I guess check that these are added correctly. That's definitely not correct. 9,800 plus 10,650 is 2,0450. And then add 3,600 to it. It's 24,050.
Let me have that.
And then what about on the left here? Is that still 24,000? They're supposed to be the same.
Yeah.
So maybe we're missing an account. Cash, accounts receivable, supplies, equipment. Maybe I didn't write the
Total
numbers.
asset? Or no, is that total asset? That's not there. Never mind.
Equipment, I said 11,900. Maybe that's not right. That is 11,900. Accounts receivable 6,800. That's right. Supplies are 400. Cash is 4,950.
Oh, that's why.
But that gets us to some different number, doesn't it?
But wait, can you scroll up?
Yes.
Like right there, they're both 2,450.
Right. So this should also be 2,450, but it's not.
That's the other one's 2,0450.
Yeah. Well, they're supposed to be the same. So this is why I'm 24050 is what it should be. 24050. God bless it. Transposing numbers. I'm sorry. So we got 9800 plus 10650. That's 20450. Then we add 3600, and that gets you to 24050.
Okay.
And that's what this is supposed to be, I think.
Plus 6800. Yeah, I got that.
Okay. Try one more time here. Okay. So what are we left with here? So you
These are
got,
the ones that I can.
so these two you got, I mean, you're not gonna get all the points, but you should be able to run through and get these
Yeah.
all done.
Okay. I think I can figure those out.
Okay. I hope this was helpful to see how I did it, to see how you might do it. I mean, I'm happy to help again, but
Yeah.
leave it at
Thanks.
that.
I know it's just this is subject already. It's only like 3 weeks in, and it's like foreign to me. Like I just honestly, to me, I feel like it's easier for me to do like chemistry. You know.
It's pretty tough. It's a lot of people struggle with this class, and they use it to get rid of people in the in the Barrett.
Right.
Like they kind of force you in and out. So there are alternatives. The class is taught at Rio Salado. A lot of people take it over there and transfer it. But I mean, give it a try, see how you do.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for scheduling. I'll send out just send out a screen recording in case you want to look at it later.
Okay.
Those videos are unlisted, by the way, so there's no way to find them.
Okay.
All right, thanks for your time. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.